Before this video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. In version 14.4, a brand new collab was added to the game. This being a collab with Sonic the Hedgehog. One of the units added was the ultimate Lifeform, Shadow the Hedgehog. He may be the end result of Project Shadow to create the perfect Lifeform, but how does him being the ultimate Lifeform transfer over to the world of the Battle Cats? Well, this video will discuss what Shadow's abilities are and if they're good or not. The footage in this video is of a level 30 Shadow. Shadow's kit is a strange one at first glance. Shadow, just like Sonic, has 95 speed and deals massive damage, but has a low base damage stat of 7,820 with fairly okay 4.6k DPS and has a wicked standing range of 520. Shadow as a unit is best described as a sustain rusher. Shadow has the general kit to want to be a rusher, but shines best when he isn't just thrown straight into enemy lines with no second thought, as his effective damage can rack up very quickly. Against his targets of Black and Zombie, he deals 31,280 damage, which may sound low when hearing it at first glance. His effective DPS is over 18,000, which, over time, can allow Shadow to easily score plenty of kills. His two targets are perhaps some of the best targets Shadow could have gotten with his kit, as most Black and Zombie enemies are melee based, allowing him to stay relatively safe. For Black enemies specifically, his damage is still strong enough to juggle several enemies like Shadowboxer K and Raging Gory while quickly hacking away at the likes of Dark Otter. For zombies, he can easily take good chunks of their health before they burrow, especially if your defense is closer to Shadow than his initial standing range, giving him more opportunities to strike them. Against some zombies, they might even get knocked back into him, which can cause him to get knocked back in return. However, this can be a good thing sometimes, as Shadow does have the health to tank a hit or two, and due to his range and 0 TBA, he can immediately strike against the zombie. His attack style also complements the Holy Blast, as at max level, it deals 45% of a burrowed zombie's max health, and in most cases, this can allow Shadow to immediately get a full knockback against them, which in turn can allow Shadow to continuously attack them again and again and again. Shadow being as fast as he is does lend him to speed clipping sometimes, especially if you're aggressively pushing. His somewhat long backswing and lack of TBA prevent Shadow from clipping all too much. The clipping occurs most often in more barren stages where almost no enemies are on the field, as by the time an enemy is done with their knockback animation, Shadow will very much have moved inside the enemy's hitbox. Because of this, Shadow performs the best in spam heavy stages, which ironically gives Shadow little chance to push. Shadow has one last major thing about his kit, and those are his immunities. Shadow is both immune to slow and toxic. Both of these immunities give Shadow much more flexibility in mixed stages that feature enemies with these abilities. For Black enemies specifically, the only two he benefits from are against Legrim and Dark Joe. Seeing as Shadow outranges Legrim, and due to the presence of Zuch, he makes a viable option there. However, Legrim's raw damage in the later stages will instantly kill Shadow if he's slammed. His toxic immunity is helpful against Dark Joe in the event that they proc their 5% toxic chance, allowing Shadow to get right back to attacking them without sacrificing too much of his health. His immunities are more suited to his zombie matchup. His slow immunity makes him a very viable option against Angaburu, whose mini surge spam will constantly slow units, so Shadow being able to avoid this is great. His slow immunity is also amazing for Dabu, as he has the health to tank a hit and get right back to attacking Dabu, taking sizable chunks of his health in a single life. His toxic immunity helps a lot with making Zolo clusters easier to kill, and allows him to be a solid chunker against Oldstrich. His best showing is against Big Pang Z. This gauntlet boss deals a widespread toxic attack that Shadow can just barely outrange, but the overall makeup of the stage features zombies and Black enemies. This makes Shadow an extremely powerful unit for this stage, though his speed can be a double-edged sword when it comes to clipping. So, how good is Shadow the Hedgehog? Well, I'd say his kit can make him a somewhat difficult unit to use, mainly because of the fact that if you don't pay attention, he will dart off straight into enemy lines and get himself killed. However, he does have his backswing and 0 TBA to prevent as much clipping as possible, and if you can keep him alive for a long time, then you'll have yourself a rather solid specialist rusher that breaks from tradition among his rusher peers. With all that said, I want to thank you for watching this analysis of Shadow the Hedgehog. If you thought this insight was interesting, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Battle Cats content, and comment down below your thoughts on Shadow. I'd love to hear what you all think of them. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Yamet, Ian Dean, Eriburel, Ninja Stars, Tentacle Gaming, Virus El Perro, Just a Shark, and Potato King for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on, and channel members receive an exclusive role on my Discord server, for which you can find a link to in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.